Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, we have quite a collection of things from Hunkydory this time. Mostly they are the pocket pads. So we have barumis, we have pretty pansies, we have unicorns, and sunset memories. So just a whole collection, plus these apertures that are designed to fit perfectly over the pocket pads. Whether you use these or some that you have, it's all designed to fit. And we have just some cute, charming ones, as well as just beautiful ones all set to go. And Heidi has been playing with these and has things ready for you. Won't you please come play with us? Well, let me tell you a little bit about these products before we get started into the projects. Now, the apertures, there are 32 of them into each package. This is the gold set, and this is the silver set. Good to know. And as you can tell, the apertures are just the front only. And you get, the aperture is the frame, if you will, plus you get the inside, so that's nice. And you get them in all these colors, so you can see them right here. And you get 2 of each, so that's kind of nice to have. 4 different gold foil card fronts. And you can see all of the shapes that are involved, so that's nice. So the red and the brown, there's black, yellow, you can see it right here, green and white, so that works nicely. And as I said, they are designed to fit. Now in the pocket pads, they are 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. So I kind of like to think of them as like 3 by 4, so that's kind of easier. They are 150 GSMs, and there are 16 designs. You get 4 of each. And then as I go through each of the projects, I'll show you all of the designs of each one. So that way it's a little bit easier to remember and to kind of figure out which is which. And as I said, we have everything from cutesy, charming to pretty and lovely. So just the whole gamut of things. And let's see, I did tell you the colors in the gold. I didn't do as good a job in the silver, so let me rectify that. In the silver, we have the teal. We have, it's the same thing. You get 32 apertures. We have the purple. We have the white. We have the lime. And we also have the pink. Well, I guess that's more of a lavender, isn't it? And we have the light blue. So all of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And same thing, you get all these different shapes, both the outer frame and the inner shape. So that works. Okay, so we have that. And let me get started. And the first one that Heidi used is this, and it is using the Varumis. You can see that these are cartoon characters. And obviously this is the one that she used, but while we're here, let me just show you everything that's in this package. So it kind of reminds me of the movie Cars, but we have lots of different ones. So really nice for children, especially little boys, which it's hard to find things for them. So now, those of you who are telling me it would work for girls too, well, of course it would. And here we go. Now you get 4 of each one, so that takes care of that. And now, first thing I need to tell you is that Heidi made a slight mistake. In this card, this is a 5 by 6.5 inch card, and she used this solid cardstock. This is tulips and butterflies, which is really a funny combination with this little guy, but that's the color that worked. And she trimmed down a piece to fit within her card size. The error was that this dazzle in blue with the circles is out of stock. It's retired. It's not going to be used again. I do tell the designers when something is happening that way, but I think Heidi just, she just forgot. So she's set that aside. She's not going to use it again. But I wanted to give you an option because it's a great idea for a card. So I think that the blue border dazzles is going to work just as well. So what you could do is take this idea, and you know, as makers, we do that all the time. So you could just take any of the dazzles on this sheet, and you know, there's tons of them here, and you know, just kind of do what she did, which is to have them go randomly across. Now, the nice thing, well, you know, it would have been good, Paulette, to have had some scissors handy, wouldn't it? Okay, here we go. And to just trim them, and keeping in mind that this piece is going to be in the middle, so there's no need to, you know, kind of use your dazzles in this area. So just have them going off the edge, and you can use them the most effectively that you want to. Okay, which is exactly what Heidi did. So now I used my thickest one right there, and then you can just do the same thing with everything else. Now I would, you know, so I picked my, as I said, my thickest one. Then I would go to probably just any of them. It's kind of doesn't make any difference. And just play with it. Just basically play with it. Okay. And you just want to do exactly what she's done. You're just creating a background. You can just move along with this and not worry too much about it. I would keep in mind, again, that nothing's going to be happening in the middle of it. So not to expend your dazzles in an area that's not going to be necessary. And, you know, just go right ahead. You could just leave those on the outside and then trim them later. That would be fine. So that would be my recommendation, is just to go ahead and keep playing with it. And there are, I think there's 31 on there, so you've got plenty to do this. So, you know, just kind of keep going as you like. So you're going to do that first, keeping in mind, and then you're going to glue one of the pieces on here. Then the next step is you're going to take this, and the one that she used is this piece. So you're going to pop out the center, and then you're going to take this piece and put acetate on it. But there's a new acetate that Hunkydory has, and it's called Starfall. And I want you to see this because I think it's brand new this season, and we just received it. It's gold on one side. Do you see all the stars in there? It's gold on one side. If you turn it over, it's silver, which is great. And you will, okay, so let me pop that out. And it just pops out like this. Okay, and you need to attach it to the back of this frame, this aperture. And the best way to do that is with extra sticky tape, because it will stick to the foil or the acetate. So take your extra sticky tape, place it on the frame, on the back side of the frame, place the acetate on top, make sure what other color you want to show, and then just trim the edges. So that then will go with 2 layers of foam tape on the acetate and position it on top of the card. Okay. Then what Heidi did is she cut another one of this, and she just cut this piece and here. So she just cut that out, foam taped it, and then she just cut this piece, the eyes and the top, and foam taped it. So then you have that layering look. And again, you get 4 pieces of each one, so you have plenty to use. She used what she called the innies of these circles, which of course you don't have because they're not available. But what you do have are some innies of these. So you've got these little stars that you can use, not bad, and you can put those on the outside of the aperture. Now she also used another set of dazzles that is called Tiny Words and Phrases, primary colors. Now it has brown, blue, green, red, yellow, and black, and that's where the happy and the birthday come from. Okay, so you want to place that there. She also used the gold studs, and that's what this looks like. This is only from Hunkydory. They're self-adhesive, and she's placed them like so. So you can just place them. She's just got them 3 of them on the front. Okay, on the inside of her card, she did another of the blue from the tulips and butterflies solid, and this is the inside, the one that I popped out. So that goes down first, and then here is another one of the little tugboat, and that has been matted onto the Mary cardstock, nice and shiny, and then that was foam taped in place. And I guess before then we put some more of the dazzles, so you've got plenty of them. And the other thing you can do, since these are border dazzles, so there are some that are thinner, and I have misplaced them already. Oh no, here they are. So you can do some like they are here. Like if you wanted to place some, make them thicker, just put them side by side, okay, just like they are there. So that will make them look wider. So if you like that look, that's one way that you can achieve it. Okay, so more of the dazzles, more of the gold studs, and then Make a Wish coming from the Tiny Words and Phrases, and you are good to go. So you have a very, very happy, happy birthday card. So there you go, and a way to change something just in case you want to adjust something. And I've also seen the new Starfall acetate, so that's fun to have. Okay, and you saw all of the Varum little pocket pals. Okay, now we're going to go into the sunset memories. Okay, this has a totally different look. Here is the card that she made. Now right now this is covered up, but let me open it up for you. Isn't that pretty? And this is very much what this whole thing is looking like. So this is going to open up. We have Missing Our Time Together and Love You, Friend, and there you go. How pretty. Okay, I'm going to close it up, and I'll tell you about tying that bow in a minute. But first, I want to show you the other images that are in that collection. So the ones that we're going to use, we're going to use this one, and this one, and this one. But the ones that are also in it are these. I'm going to slip those over. Isn't this, that's just charming. So at the beach, and we see a dolphin, waterfalls. I'm not sure about the cows, but okay, or the golfer. But there's some others that are just really, really sweet. I like that. Yeah, that's pretty. And then we also, every now and again, there are horizontal ones in here too. So there's also vertical and horizontal, plus the ones there. So some really lovely. And I'm just going to clip these together so they don't go flying around. So the way that Heidi made this, which is really very clever and very easy. Okay, you do need 2 cards. We're going to start with that. So we've got 2 cards here. Okay, so you're going to take one and attach the back of this to the inside of this, just like so. The only trick is that you want to make sure that you can close the card. So by that I mean you want to make sure that you don't overlap into the score lines, either that score line or that score line, okay? So just make sure. Now to make the card that Heidi made, you're going to want to trim 1/4 of an inch here and 1/4 of an inch here. So on the 3rd panel, 1, 2, 3, take off 1/4 of an inch at the top and 1/4 of an inch at the bottom. And that is so that you will have this structure. See 1/4 of an inch? Let me move that. 1/4 of an inch gone and 1/4 of an inch. Okay? So now we will go back to the card. And the way that this folds in is that folds just like a regular card, but this goes on top of it. Okay? So that's how we start this card. Now Heidi has used, surprisingly, wildflowers and wildlife. Okay? Now let me show you the papers that she used. To do the first part is this paper, okay? And it's on the back of the cutout sheet. So in this case, she cut it smaller than this panel so that she had a white frame around it. So that's what you do. And then just glue it to the front of your card. Now, she took the she took the pink, okay, Paulette, the pink aperture, and this is the one with the arch, as you can see. Now, all she did was take this scene and attach it to the back of that arch. All she did. And then she foam taped it to the front of that panel. Okay, that's all. Then she took her dazzles, and these dazzles are We're Together. It has 2 sheets. It has this sheet where the words are stacked, and the second sheet are the words where they're script. They're in a row. Okay, so Love You is stacked. The little flowers and the hearts all come. And I thought it was clever of her to just put them in the corner. Then she used the ivory ribbons, and you can see that there's this 1/8 inch ribbon. There's also this, it's got this kind of this scroll on it. So both of those ribbons are in the same ivory ribbon collection. So she zotted that in place. So that's our first panel. Okay, so then we're going to flip this over. Then she used this piece. And this piece, it's really kind of funny as I was looking for which one she used. And I'm looking at it and see how that matches? Well, it matches, but it has this little bunny in it. And this is how it appeared in the package. So you just turn it, and then she covered up that little bunny, which I thought was clever, because he doesn't really serve any purpose in her use of it here. But it still works beautifully. So she took that, trimmed it down. The dimensions and everything are down below in the instructions. And then she matted it. Now she matted it on the solid paper, which is also called Wildflowers and Wildlife. And it's on this bright pink. And she chose the bright pink because it matched the aperture. And this is still in the gold collection, which as was the first card, and glued it to the front of her card. So there you go. And in the here, she popped out that arch. Well, she used it right here and turned it on its side. But she wanted to take this one and have it into a matching arch. So she took our nested arches dies, clever woman, and ran this through the die cutting machine, and then also matted it on the gold Mary, which she used in the first project, and placed it in the center, okay? And glued it, well, this piece she already had down, so placed that there. And then also went back in here, missing our time together, which is just a perfect statement to go with that image, don't you think? Another bow is dotted right here. So that is our card second piece. And we're going to open this up. Okay, now going in here, I'm going to go with these two first because they're matching. And these two are on the back of this particular sheet. This is a sheet that has large cutouts in here, and this is on the back of it. So you get two, actually you get 4 of each sheet in the 6x6. So this one and this one were trimmed to fit, just smaller than this sheet and smaller than this piece. So she went ahead and did that, glued them in place. And these two are actually on this same sheet. It's this inner piece, but cut in half. So you're going to use everything, of course. So you want to think of these. Now this one she used on the front. This one she just cut in half. She's going to put one here, and look where she glued them. She glued them right along the edge of the patterned paper. That worked nicely. And she has them so that the, she punched a hole in each one and has the hole facing into the card. I thought that was a good idea. And she just threaded a length of ribbon, folded it in half, inserted the loop into the hole, and then threaded the ribbons through that hole. Okay, pulled it taut, foam taped this in place, foam taped this place, and then love you and friend is from the same We're Together. Also, I like what she did with the thin lines. This is Thin Lines Pink, and I think we're gonna have to get in closer. There you go. So one piece here, and then 3 pieces of varying lengths right there, duplicated over here. Okay, we'll back up just a smidge. And then for the centerpiece, this is another sheet that was used. It is on the back of our little raccoon, but here it is. And this has dots on it. This is first sheet. There's a very light pink that also comes from this solid set. And then this is placed and glued in place. Actually, I take it back. It is matted on the Mary, like several of the pieces are. And this is the piece, the frame that these came out of, and this is the piece that is in the back of it. Okay, and that's been glued. Another bow matted or zotted. Then this is closed, and that is closed. The ribbon, what she did is she put a piece of extra sticky tape there and placed her ribbon. The length is in the instructions, I just don't remember it. And brought it forward and simply tied a bow. So when you're doing this, the only trick in doing this is just making sure you've got enough ribbon that you can tie your bow and not have any problem, okay? There we go. Okay. No, there we go. Okay. nice construction. And it's nice to get so many different colors out of one sheet, out of one package. And I think it's another good thing that if you saw wildflowers and wildlife, you might think, wildlife, I don't need any wildlife. This is all very pretty. But what she cleverly did is she covered up the wildlife and made use of all of those wildflowers. So hats off to you, babe. I do want to mention, because I didn't, is that Heidi always uses Hunkydory's bow maker. She just finds that makes her bows perfectly every time. So good idea. Okay, now that was with our Sunset Memories. So that finishes what she has used with the rich gold apertures. So now we're going to move into our pretty pansies and our silver apertures. And this is the card that she has done. This is obviously a slimline card. And let me show you what is in the pansies set. So she is using this pansies. And I do think it's interesting, I'll say it right now, is that this is the pansies with dazzles in the center, and these are the pansies without them. And I think they do benefit from a little bit of sparkle. Okay, here's the pansies. And again, they're the, 3x4-ish. And so nice thing about pansies is that you get every color in the world that you want. And so we do have horizontal and vertical in these. And whenever I see pansies, I think about my grandmother's house because she always had pansies in the driveway, in the center of the driveway. So I thought that was neat. And there you go. Okay, all of those are in the pansy set. And I also think it's neat in these pocket pals is what you can do with them. Even though you might think, well, that's pretty little, but there's so much more you can do. So, okay, what she has chosen, so these are the thin line. Yes, and what, when you see this DL in anything from England, it is their term for what we call slimline. So, that's just what they have. And what Heidi has chosen is luscious lace. Okay, this has gotten a little, okay. So luscious lace is the package. She's using the 12x12 and also coordinating it with luscious lace solid, as you would imagine. And then also luscious lace die cuts, okay? And with the silver brushed diamond. Now that's going to give a really beautiful look. So what she has taken, and you can really see it right here, this piece has the lace just all through the center. So she cut a piece of that, matted it onto the blue solid, and then onto the diamond, and then put it onto her card, leaving a white edge so that her card shows. So that's the piece. She also took this piece and matted it onto the diamond. However, the aperture that she used, and this is kind of, I rammed it into the plastic bag. She's using this aperture. So she took this aperture and cut it in half, and you can see that she spread it on each side of this image of the pocket pal, but she has one doily on the back of it. Okay, so there's a lot going on. So take this luscious lace, mat it a couple of times, glue it to her card front, then take her doily and place it, and then take the aperture, cut it in half, and place it behind the matted pal. Okay, then she cut this out. So she's got this two pieces That is one piece as she cut it out, and then she cut this piece out and glued and foam taped it on top. So that way she's got flat, one layer, and another layer. Okay, the dazzles that she used are simply the silver sparkle dazzles. Okay, she used the large ones there, but then she also used the small dazzles on that aperture. Okay, so that just took care of that. On the inside, she has the lighter blue Luscious Lace Solid. This is another piece out of the Luscious Lace that's been matted on the diamond. And then this is also the aperture. So you can see, so she took this piece out and then she trimmed this down to fit. And then just place that. Just a friendly hello. This is the die cut. More of the dazzles are placed there. So she's got some layering going on. So it looks like a lot of things are going on, but it's very simple to do. So that's nice. And I like the doily kind of duplicating the lace. I think that's a good idea. Oh, something I forgot to mention, I'm sorry, that when she cut the aperture down, that she did round the corners. And I think that's a good look, really nice look. So we have, this is our new corner rounder, so much easier to see the sizes of the corners so you can make your choice. Now she's used a thinner one this time, so it's the 4 millimeter. That works nicely. Okay, so there's our slim line and our pansies all taken care of. Now we have one more, and this is going to be our unicorn. And she has, again, used our starfall. That's nice. That works well with the unicorn, don't you think? Okay, so let me show you the package of the unicorn. But more importantly, let me show you what's inside it. Now we're staying with the silver apertures. So this is obviously the unicorn that she's using. There's some beautiful unicorns in here and some really charming ones. So there you go. 1, 2. So there's the cuties. Now here comes, this is beautiful, just gorgeous. Our stained glass is nice. And there we go. And we get some horizontal ones too. Yes, you have to lick your finger sometimes. That's sweet. Okay, so let me show you what she's done. Now she's mixed some different things with this. And this time she's using the pink with the silver apertures. So this is a 5 by 6.5 inch card. And she started off with the silver border dazzles. So you can see they're really sparkly. They're going to go with the ones that she used on the pansies, aren't they? Okay, so first thing, she just put those around the edge of her card. Now she's using the iridescent paper. Now, if you buy this, it's going to say sparkling sheets. These are made in Holland. We think iridescent is really a better term, and I'll show you why. It comes with 7 sheets, and you get the idea right there. They are iridescent. I think that's just a better term than sparkle. They do sparkle, but they shift color. So you can really see right here. In fact, this is a sheet that she used. It shifts orange and yellow, almost like a popsicle. The other one that she uses is a light color. I think it's this one. Sometimes it's hard to tell because they shift color. So I think it's those two that she uses. But you can use anything you want. And these are the colors that are in right there. So you can see why those were chosen. So And she's also chosen a solid. And she used Hidden Animals primarily because of this color, because it is a softer color. Okay, so let me just walk you through this. So the first thing that she did, as I said, is the border. Then in choosing her, her image and her aperture. So the aperture that she's chosen is this one. So I'm going to pop that out and take the aperture and attach this underneath it. Okay, so that gives you your foundation. And actually, I'm just going to kind of do this opposite the way that, that you might do it. So I'm going to take the Starfall acetate, and it is buried on my desk, on my table here. Okay, will you forgive me for not having it at my disposal? What we have is this aperture is 4 3/4. No, excuse me, 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. The size of that you're going to cut your acetate is 1 inch wider. It's going to be 1 inch wider. So this is 3 3/4. You're going to cut it 4 3/4. Then you're going to score a 1/2 inch on each side so that it can wrap around. Now this is popping up a little bit. That's perfectly fine. That's just because the score line isn't really solidly down. It makes no difference. So you're just going to make it 1 inch wider. It's going to be the same height. That's just going to work fine. So you can use the Hunkydory scoreboard to to score it a 1/2 inch on each side. That's going to work nicely. And then you just want to attach it to the back. Extra sticky tape is going to work perfectly. And that's going to be nice, and that's going to give you those stars going over it. I would turn it as Heidi has done to have the silver pieces on the front, and that's going to look really pretty. So when you get that down, then you can mat it onto the orange iridescent, and then onto the blue of the solid, and then onto the lighter color of the iridescent, and then glue it to the front of the card. So that's going to work just really well. So you get all of those mattings going on. You can see the first one is wider, and then the other two are just about 1/8 of an inch. Okay, but I do like this. It's just it gives texture and color, and it's really pretty. Can we get in closer here to look at that Starfall? I think Starfall is just such a great name. So you can see it, and yeah, it's just nice. Okay, so the inside, oh, wait a second. Let's talk about what else is on here. Sending Smiles is right there, and that is from our Dazzles, and they're simply called Sending Smiles also. It comes in black, white, gold, and silver. Obviously, this is black. Now you could, if you wanted to, have it come down a little bit just to show more on the pink. It's, either way is fine. And right here, we've got just the blue, same blue that was used right here. And this is another of the images that's been just matted twice on the 2 iridescent and on the aperture. So the aperture and blue, and then the iridescence. Here's more of the border Dazzles. Now also, she cut out just the head of the unicorn and foam taped that. And then Hugs is right here. I'm not sure if you can see it. So you could put it there. You could also put it down here. And some of the Dazzles are just placed around the edge. So it looks very sparkly, as exactly what a unicorn should look like. And the Hugs comes from the black script Dazzles. So there you go. So that is the Apertures and how you might use them. Very, very useful tools, I believe, because you can just do so much. You know, when you're thinking of an aperture, you're thinking of an opening. Well, yes, you have the openings, but boy, you have those innies also. You can do a lot with them. I think that Heidi's done a great job of sharing how you can use them. So in this webisode, you have seen the silver apertures in lots of different colors, and you've seen the gold in lots of different colors, and you've seen 4 different of the pocket pads, from Verumies to Sunset Moments to Pretty Pansies and the unicorns, all of those. Now there is a money saver for all of them. You can buy them individually, but you're going to save a little money if you want to get the whole collection. So do as you wish. There is a money saver. It's over on the right-hand side of your screen. Down below, you can see each of the cards, and written instructions are down below those also. So that will just make it super easy. If you happen to be watching this on YouTube, we would love it if you would click on liking us and subscribe. Head on over to paperwishes.com. And if you'd like to take advantage of the money saver, certainly if you'd like to take advantage of the instructions, they're there at your disposal. So that would be good. I want to thank Heidi for doing all of this and for giving us lots of different ideas. That's just exactly what we want. And that's why we offer about 26 webisodes every single month. So thank you. And we will be back with you. And I want to thank each of you for being part of our Paper Wishes family. Thank you, and we'll see you again. Bye-bye.